Hi, and welcome to the whichever night Android Coliseum Hangout number 103. I all of a sudden forgot what day it was. I keep hoping that it's the middle of summer. So tonight we have with us Martin. Say hello,
So,
Martin. Ryan and Siobhan. And me. We're going to talk a little bit Android. We're going to keep it short and to the point. Hopefully, if you guys like our shorter format, don't forget to leave us a note.
yeah, it'd be nice to hear from you guys.
Yeah, for sure. So let's get started. First up, we have Martin. He got a Galaxy Note Edge to look at. What do you think, Martin?
I actually, it's interesting that you do ask that about the Galaxy Edge. I mean, I've used the Note 2, the Note 3, the Note 4, and the Galaxy Edge looks very similar to one of the Notes, except for the Edge portion of the phone, and that's really pretty much only the extra I can give you at this time. I'll get into details about the Galaxy Note Edge in one of my reviews that's going to be posted at some point later this week. But so far, it's impressive with the quality of the screen, the camera, the battery is actually doing justice to the Note Edge, and I'll leave you guys to more details once I'm done.
Oh, that is a very quick. That's a very quick review. You have a question, Ryan.
Yeah, so, I mean, having used the Galaxy Note 4, I thought the Galaxy Note 4 was pretty awesome. So, between the Galaxy Note 4 and the Note Edge, performance-wise, are they exactly the same, would you say?
No, they're entirely different.
Really?
TouchWiz
Wow.
itself has been completely overhauled on the Note Edge from perspective of app management, memory management, and how each app is associated in the background. And it
Because
manages
of the
to.
Edge part?
It's not about because of the Edge. It's because of the promise that Samsung did, saying that they would actually slim it down and make it better. So I have about, I don't know, close to about 27 apps in the background running. None of them have been closed in the period of an hour. They're all running. I still have a gig free of memory, so that means it's using about 2 gigs, and the actual phone is not slow. I can actually switch to a game, switch back to a word processing document, switch back to Telegram or Hangout, and it's still very functional.
Very cool. It'll be interesting to see what your review ends up like, and it will
Definitely.
be interesting to see how Samsung propagates that through their existing devices. So let's move on. YouTube did an announcement, not quite available in Canada, but YouTube Kids. Savon, you're interested in that?
Yeah, I downloaded it just to see what it's all about. I think it's very good for children, let's say under 6 years old. I wouldn't give it to my son to use. He's 9, so I think he'll be a bit bored. It's kind of similar to the Netflix Kids, so they have all their cartoons and all their kiddie stuff. So for my daughter, definitely I'm going to put it on her tablet. It's just that it's not available here officially, so the app has to be downloaded manually and installed on the device, so it's a bit more cumbersome, not so easy, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to let her choose. I'll show it to her, see her reaction, but it's a great concept. I think it's very interesting, and when my children were very small, let's say 4 years old, then definitely 100% I would use just that.
So as long as you download the app, you get the service.
Yeah, you can
I
see all
guess
the
it's just a
videos.
filter.
It's just an interface that shows only
Okay.
the kid-oriented videos. They have the channels that are for children featured on the main page. So the
Okay.
UI is suitable for children. My children are used to the regular YouTube already, so I'll have to try to convert them. If it was available when they were introduced to YouTube, then for sure I will introduce only that, not regular YouTube. It's just that now they already know the regular one. They're
Right.
used to their favorites, to their channels, so they're a bit more advanced because they're older. They're 6 and 9. But if they were younger, for sure, I would introduce that first.
So Ryan, you had a comment?
Yeah, I think the same thing along Savant is that because we're already kind of used, our kids already grew up with the regular full-fledged YouTube. They know subscriptions. They know how to favorite, thumbs up, follow, suggested next links, whatever. So again, I think some kids might be a little bit too simple for them. So I know my son would be like, doesn't do what I want to do. But what I was really kind of liking to see was the fact that it had more parental controls, so I could lock out certain channels that I don't want my kid to watch, certain Skylander families or Minecraft channels. But what was really kind of cool to see was the fact that they had like a time limit. You could actually say, this YouTube app you can run it for like 5 minutes and it'll stop. Like again, one of those things. Like if you install that and the kid is pretty savvy enough, could they just exit out of the YouTube Kids app and then just go to regular YouTube app and just watch from there on? And then what account are they using it? So, because then my account might get filled up with, oh, well, you just watched this Skylander video. You might like one of these other Skylander videos.
Huh. Yes, it might be interesting what your favorites turn out to be.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to see as it spreads. I mean, side loading is not a big deal, really. It's not like you have to root. It's just that you download it and then say you'll take it from not the Play Store. So, not a hard thing. Well, let's move on. I'm really looking forward to Mobile World Congress. Lots of stuff coming out. Ryan, you've been keeping on top of that?
As much as I can. I mean, again, this is an area I'm not a big fan of. I mean, I love to see the reveal of these events, especially these, you get a bunch of people who are very, Mobile World Congress, all people specifically about the mobile tech sector. So it's really cool to see them all get together and talk about what's going to happen next and see the technology that are taking off. But this is usually where we start seeing new devices. So we've seen recently LG already pre-announced 4 new mid-range devices. They probably won't make it to Canada, but they announced them. And then we know the day before the event starts, we're going to see an event from HTC and then an event from Samsung. I can't remember which one's first, though.
I think HTC might be first.
I think HTC is first, and then Galaxy comes after. So, I mean, if you're an UpLeaks follower, if you follow Leaks, I mean, he posted a lot of shots about the HTC One M9, and then how it got pulled, nudged, so it leaks. So we're saying a little more details of what's going on with the M9. The Galaxy S6, we're hearing that there's going to be 2 versions, an S6 and then an S6 Edge. And then we're going to have, but there were some photos posted today from about the S6 that looked very much like an iPhone 6, which I thought was, ugh.
Maybe the iPhone 6 looks like the S6.
True. I mean, to be honest, the S6 really looked a lot like the Z3, which then also kind of had a very similar design to the iPhone 6. That little corner bands, very round edges, the dotting for the speaker in the bottom. So again, who knows? These are all just rumors at the end of the day. But again, I like to see. It's gonna be cool to see it come out. I mean, it's that time of year we start looking at the new devices and seeing what I'm more interested instead of the design of the phone. I want to see what they're gonna do with the software, what features they're gonna take advantage of. I haven't really seen any new features come out in a phone in a while, right? I remember when face tracking came in and putting an infrared port on it. Last year LG brought in laser autofocus for. Maybe this year we'll start seeing stuff like those the MEMS for the sensors to help reduce with the vibration. So instead of image stabilizing, they use the MEMS. Who knows what they'll start bringing into these devices? Flexible displays. Who knows? But it'll be cool to see. Starts next week.
They'll have to do something because, I mean, if they want you to spend $900 to $1,000 a year on new devices, that's going to be quite a bit.
A lot to swallow.
Push. Yes. Well, Siobhan has been having computer trouble, so she might be dropping in and out here. She's trying to get that lower third in.
Yes.
So if you see her disappear and we all just sort of blink for a moment, that's what's happened.
Mr. Lower third.
And it's back.
It's
So Google Wallet's really making a big push, or Google is really making a big push to get Wallet. I know when I had my S4, I really struggled with getting the TD app to work for tap to pay. Brian, you're saying that Wallet may be working better for us?
Potentially. That's going to be kind of interesting to see what's going to happen there. Well, we recently heard that Google Wallet has purchased or partnered with SoftCard, which used to be ISIS. So SoftCard, so them together, the potential right now that people are talking about is that they're going to be rebranding the Google Wallet app as Google Pay, potentially by Google I/O. So by June, I think time is for Google I/O. So it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen. I think in the States, they're starting to see Google Wallet come onto I think Verizon or whatever the device comes out. But what is interesting that I'm looking at is there's a really good article that was shared around there today, and I got the link in our agenda, talking about how Canada wants to be sort of a leader in this tap-to-pay market now. I mean, they realize they sort of lost some momentum, and they are going to be trying to push together because Canada, in terms of mobile payment, has been very good in terms of, we had, chip cards. We've had the RFID tags, ATM. We've been very much the leader in a lot of that security technology, so we should do the same for that. So the Mars group down in Toronto have started a new project around that financial technology, and so they're getting a bunch of groups together, and one of them is a partner with Bitcoin to talk about cryptocurrency and yada yada yada. So it'll be interesting to see how that sort of pushes together, and then potentially with this new push by Google, whether that really helps bring that together as more tap-to-pay options in their devices.
Well, we have been front runners with this. I remember having a chip in a card, I think back in the 80s. It didn't do anything, but it was there. So, Vaughn, you had a comment.
Just that it used to work so well. About 2 years ago, I was able to use Google Wallet to pay at Tim Hortons, for example, here in Canada, with some hacks and some workarounds. But it was very simple, so I really miss it, and I really hope they'll find a way to make it work with Android Wear as well.
Yes, that would be cool.
Yeah, maybe with to scan a barcode or something like that. I know Tim Hortons already has a barcode scanner for their own app, so maybe to expand on that. So I'm really looking forward to some news about that.
Well, it'll be interesting. Samsung also bought a financing style app, and I know my S4 had the Beep and Go, which worked really well. So for scanning. So it'll be interesting what comes up with this. Let's wrap this up with a comment from Martin.
And just as of late, there's been talks between Samsung and PayPal for a joint venture payment.
Like the nice thing about all those services, like in Google Wallet especially, is you can do a limited load on your wallet and really use it to budget, because it's so easy to, I don't know about you guys, but I tap all the time, and you tap a credit card and it doesn't really register on you until you get your bill. So it's kind of nice to have that preload wallet thing. Not that I have a budget problem. I'm just saying. Okay. Let's move on. Oh, Ryan, you said, you did talk about that. So, Martin, the next iteration for Sony.
The next iteration for Sony, the Z4, unless any of you have been living under a rock, but in the past 24, 48 hours, there's been a couple of screw-ups happening on the web. Xperia Lounge, if you have an Xperia device, showed the Sony Z4 with some of the specs and what would be coming up shortly. We've got screen grab and screen captures all over the place now. There was even an announcement of the Z4 tablet as well that showed up on the web. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly what's coming out of that and what's Sony's going after? I mean, we heard Sony saying that they were thinking about pulling out of the business, but not entirely pulling out, maybe slimming down their line of devices. We're going to have to see what they're going to be saying about that at the Mobile World Conference.
Yeah, like the nice thing about Mobile World Congress is that it's mobile and international. The sad thing is that a lot of stuff doesn't come to Canada. So get your import pants on. Next up, we have some other Wear stuff. Martin, you're looking at you have the Moto, but are you interested in the Pebble?
I personally am not interested in the Pebble, but the news was actually interesting because the diehard Pebble fans will just be diehards. It's kind of like similar to diehard BlackBerry users. Exactly, BlackBerry, Apple fan, But I do like the fact that they brought e-paper to a colored type of version, which makes it fun and looking. It kind of like reminds me of those playful little game watch that kids had, and then eventually they went from black and white to colored and was more interesting. But it does bring a different aspect to it, and it looks really, really interesting. And I have to agree, I mean, it looks like a kid's watch. I mean, I agree with you right on that one. McDonald type of Happy Meal. Yeah, I agree. Totally. But yeah, it was interesting to see the launch on Kickstarter, and what a launch it was, because their Kickstarter goals just went crazy. You could see the numbers going by thousands of dollars at a time.
Wow. And will it be a touchscreen or just e-paper?
I think it's just e-paper again, still with the buttons and whatnot.
Yikes. Okay, I like touchscreens. I like buttons too, but I like touchscreens.
You like to press things, don't you?
Yes. That's why I was a researcher, pressing buttons. And another... That's why I don't like my job now. Not enough buttons. And another wearable we just got word of, and Savon's going to give it a try. What are you looking forward to with the Timex?
Yeah, so I see that it's exciting to see more smartwatches on the market, not only Android Wear and the mythical iWatch. Other options, people have other needs. The Timex is a watch for athletes mainly. It has GPS, heart rate monitor, and what's special about it that it has connectivity. Regardless, it doesn't need to be connected to a phone. It has wireless connectivity independent from a phone. So the question is, what can you really do with that? From what I read about the watch, it's basically, it will track you with the GPS. You can share your workouts, or it can send an SOS message to a contact. But what else can you do? It says that it has email type of messaging. The question is that enough for people to use as a smartwatch? And if the price of around $500, but I will hopefully be able to test it, and I'll run with it, and you can swim with it. It's waterproof, and you can dive with it and swim. So I'm excited to try it and see if it's worth it, and to see the functionality. It says that it gets notifications and everything, so I'll see, and I'll report back.
What type of battery life does it say? Because, man, GPS really sucks battery.
That's true. It is touchscreen. I didn't see a lot of information about the battery. So, like I said, hopefully we'll get a review unit, and I'll be able to test it, and it will be exciting to review.
Mm-hmm. I really like that they are bringing out, devices for athletes, as well as it'd be nice if the other watches were more fashionable, but slowly we will get there. So we've heard a lot of different devices. They're starting to get Lollipop now. Has yours? Who's got Lollipop of you guys? Okay.
Legitimately.
So Ryan.
Yay. Yeah, no, I wrote up this topic because we already heard that the HTC One M8 had gotten the update. We'd seen the Moto X 2014 edition had gotten the update. Um, so yeah, it's going to be interesting to sort of see like, well, what other ones are we still waiting for? Obviously, there's a few that we're still waiting for. Who's getting the update? Especially as we keep hearing the HTC or sorry the One Plus One and its CyanogenMod 12S update or what was it, Oxygen OS keeps getting pushed back, and nobody's really been given any hard and fast dates. And then I woke up this morning and picked up my phone, and the first thing it said was there is a new Android OS update for your phone. I was like, oh, the G3 got it, and the G3 has already got it in the States by T-Mobile, I think AT&T and Verizon. So I was excited for me to finally get it. So I've got Lollipop on my device, so not some custom ROM like on my G2. So I was actually, yeah, it's kind of cool. So I'll do a couple of videos to show you what's different, what's changed on it. And again, like you said, Cass, in the past, when Samsung gets updated, you really don't notice much difference. I mean, a lot of the UI stays exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of the features that came in that are in there, you have to sort of hunt and find, right? There's no real guide that sits down and says, hey, this new update provided you these features,
Yeah.
right? So it was kind of interesting to see, to get the update and try to start playing with it this morning. But yeah, so just to remind everybody, we do have a firmware update page on the website at the database section, and we do have a listing of as much information as I can gather out there about which device is getting which update and when. Whether it's a no, or whether it's a maybe, or whether it's even they can give us a date. So we have some. We know, for example, just to give you a quick idea, we know, let's put it on the very top of the page. So the M7, they said February 2015, but the M8 was pushed back a little bit, so I'm expecting they're not going to make it in the next couple of days to make it on time, so probably like the next couple of weeks. We have the G2 was saying April of 2015. The Moto E and G, I think the G had already got the update already. The E is going to be coming out soon. Moto X 2013 edition is coming soon. The Galaxy Alpha was supposed to be by end of February, so hopefully soon. The Note 2 was a potential. The Note 3 is going to be February or April. The Note 4 is February. Apparently, the Note 8 and 10.1 should get the update as well. So
That would be interesting.
I'd like to get or Lollipop on my Note 8. That'd be awesome. S4 will get it in April. S5 should be getting it soon. Etc. 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 We have some Sony, the Z1, all the Z series are supposed to get it. So again, sort of the same timeline. The newer Z3 should be by March, and then April, etc. for their Z2, Z1. So yeah. So Martin, I think you're saying M7 is being deployed right now.
Wow, nice.
There we go.
I'll have to see when my Tab S is going to update. I don't know. It's just like other times where I've waited and waited and waited, and then you get it. Like you said, Ryan, a lot of times you don't really see a difference.
I can't wait for Lollipop.
I don't know. We'll see. I am looking forward to seeing what it brings.
I fell in love with it.
Let's move on. Google Play Music. Take it away, Martin.
Yes, Google Play Music. I mean, this was a surprise today, and it was actually interesting to see that they've upped the limit from 20K file that you can upload from your own personal library to 50,000 files that you can have. So, I mean, I don't know about you, but I've got maybe a quarter of that amount in the Google in my Google Play, where it's my own collection. But some people that might want to create specifically a section, a taste, or different music, or different plays that they want to create, that'd be perfect for them. They upload specific content, they get exactly what they want, and up to 50K files that you can put in there. Oh my God, I would have centuries worth of music.
Okay, and are we gonna keep going?
Well, I could start off, but those of you who remember, me, I love cloud storage, so I love my options. So I've made a database online again. We have a cloud storage database. It gives you all a listing of different types, maybe not all of them, but pretty much the majority of the different options out there. And I've sort of ranked different ones. What gives you the most free amount? What has the cheapest cost per extra? which ones give you a better referral rate if you or a bonus. So again, to take a look at it, and the reason I wanted to talk about this database again is because if you had been using OneDrive, they're going to try to push you to get to use more OneDrive because if you have Dropbox, if you have both, Microsoft OneDrive will give you 100 gigabytes for a year for free. So yeah, and they just recently updated their app to have that material design, so it looks kind of cool. So it gets a nice little time to take a look at the different options. So I thought maybe we could take a quick look around. What is your go-to service for cloud storage?
Well, for me, I'll start. I use Dropbox for my photos, and then I don't really use anything else. I mean, I have, of course, Drive for books and stuff like that, but really I've just stuck with Dropbox. I've had over 100 gig available at different times, but I don't store a lot online. Kind of boring. I am.
All right. Martin, what about you? What do you use primarily?
I'm definitely a Google Drive type of guy. I mean, I started with that regular 5 gigs that everybody got in the initial beginning, and now I'm up to 225 gigs. And out of that, I got 100 free gigs from Google, plus the one I signed up for 199 plus extra spice, and I'm using maybe about 5% of that storage. So I'm good for a while.
Sounds like. Siobhan, you have a comment?
I'm also using Google. I upload all my photos in full size, and I pay extra every month. I just prefer to know that it's there, because I always forget where I backed it up, on which, there's cards all over the house, there's hard drives all over the house. I don't know what's where. With Google, I know where it is. I know how to find the photos. I can go back. I can search. It's worth a few dollars a month. And for other things, I don't have big files that I need to store anywhere. So when it's small files, I just put it in Drive.
And then personally, I use Google backup storage automatically, and it does the small backup. I don't bother with it because I personally use Dropbox. I think I only have like 40 gigs with it or whatever, but I use Dropbox to automatically update my files, and it automatically puts them on my computer for me, and then I take them off that Dropbox folder and put in my actual photo album. So I'm never really using all 40 gigs out of my Dropbox. It's just sort of the conduit I use to get to my computer and I have to plug it in and transfer over. So that's what I use Dropbox primarily just because it's easier to transfer things back and forth to the computer. I use the Google Photos backup as a secondary backup just for it's easier to share. But I think I might be doing the way like Cass and Martin is start just going to Google Drive, just do one storage. But I like having a lot different options. I mean, I think I have accounts with just about every one of those on that list. I have somewhere around the range of terabytes of free storage online. Again, like Siobhan is saying, you just sort of forget, oh, well, Box was the one I was using for the CD for the band and the files for the poster. CX I was using for that. Mega was using for the. It's nice to have just one area, one file, one stuff. So.
And I really think that it's one of those things that it's the first one that works well for you is the one that you stick with. Like for me, Dropbox was really easy. It was seamless, and I had already started uploading my pictures automatically before I got onto Google+. Whereas, Siobhan, you're saying that you never liked Dropbox. It obviously didn't work well for you, so you just kept looking until you found Drive. So it's hard to say how one will do, just because there's a lot of people that are already committed to different cloud storage. And then, I, in a way, wouldn't mind actually doing a private cloud storage and just having a server at home that I can access. I'd almost rather do that.
I'm sure Martin will help you figure out.
Yeah, if I ever get, first I have to stop having the hell that is IT at work, and then maybe I'll do more at home.
Good luck.
Oh, I handed off IT at work, and I still get calls. So, yeah. Anyways, I think that is the end. Martin, as he said, will have a review up of the Galaxy Note Edge. I am waiting still for the watch. Samsung, yes, and the Note 4. It is stuck in FedEx loop, so hopefully I'll get that soon. So in the next week, we'll have that. Ryan, what's the timeline on your TV review?
I'd show you right now, but my house is a mess in the back room. But apparently, I'm getting a couple extra weeks to play around with it. Wow.
Nice. We actually just bought one for work. But
4K curved TV. I was actually playing around with the Miracast and DLNA automatically, screen sharing. Quite nice to be able to just go like, you know what, there's this video on my computer, my phone, and just go, oh, it's on the TV now.
Yeah. We put things through an amp, which adds a layer of complexity. And then Savannah's put up a review of the Oppo N3, and it's up now, so take a look at that. It's always nice to see you can put your importer boots on and importer pants and be the importer of record and get something really cool. So everybody can say good night.
Have a good night, guys.
Bonne nuit.
Good night. Sorry about my lower third.
You have a lower third. I have lacking of lighting. It's just an interesting hangout. So we'll see you guys next week, hopefully. And yeah, thanks for coming by.
All right, have a good night.
Good night.